thank you for coming here immediately after lunch on a Wednesday afternoon. It's great to see you all here. I hope that you're feeling buzzed and energised after Ali's keynote speech this morning. I definitely am. It's really exciting to be here. Thanks, Aman. So let's talk today about using Lakehouse for life-changing outcomes, AI-enabled operational technology. Feel free to ask questions as we go. We'll keep it sort of fairly informal. So my name is Noel Hansons, and with me today, so I'm the Chief Data Officer at Lifeblood, Australian Red Cross Lifeblood. And with me today, and presenting with me, is Aman Sehgal, who is a data engineer with us as well. And we are really excited to be here to share our journey. And we also want just to say thank you to you for choosing to spend your time with us this afternoon as well. We're grateful for that. Alrighty, so in early April, there was a stabbing tragedy in the Sydney suburb of Bondi Junction, where 6 people were killed in this mass stabbing, as well as a number of others that were injured during that tragedy. And as people were being rushed to hospital, hospitals will have a form of blood supply that they have there, but often when there's a big incident such as this or a large car crash or things of that nature, often they need to make an urgent call out for additional stock. So this Lifeblood issued several urgent and life-threatening orders, so sent within 60 and 30 minutes respectively. And what's important about this is that all throughout the chain, there were people contributing to ensuring that we could save lives at the end of that chain. And so that was from the people who generously donated their blood in the first place, through to the nurses and phlebotomists taking their blood, the manufacturing processes, all the way through to this email here, which was sent from my enterprise integration team lead, who was speaking to his staff to thank them for their assistance in ensuring that blood got to where it needed to be on time and saving lives at the end of that process. So everyone at Lifeblood contributes to the saving of lives. And what that means is that our purpose is life-giving donations for life-changing outcomes. So there's a number of things that you can do at Lifeblood. You can donate blood, you can donate plasma, there's organ and tissue, there's also things like milk, breast milk. We run a breast milk bank in 2 locations in Australia for children that may not have breast milk available, their mother's breast milk available to them early in life. We also do other things like microbiome. So life-giving donations for life-changing outcomes is really what we're about. Now, the challenge to you today is we save lives using data. So your challenge is come join us and use your data skills to save lives with us. I'm particularly interested if you're using data for machine learning and artificial intelligence, particularly in the regulated data or GXP or GMP space, a good manufacturing process. If you sort of got exposure to that and experience, then let's have a conversation. Please reach out to me. Great, all right. So 4 strategic pillars. So this is from Lifeblood Strategy, Lifeblood Unlocked Strategy 2027. Going clockwise, a movement of donors essential to health, a workforce of champions, and assured supply for optimal use, which is what we'll be talking about today with the delivery of the one-of-a-kind Alive machine and the data platform that supports that and enables AI analysis of that data. We also have our values on the right-hand side: step up, show heart, move together, and embrace curiosity. I know that my CEO will be listening at some point, and I just want to reassure him I'm wearing our values socks today as well. So he knows that. We've got proof. Okie dokie. So who are we? Over 3,500 people working at Lifeblood, from nurses to scientists to back office functions to data integrators and data engineers. We are grateful that nearly 600,000 people voluntarily gave blood, platelets or plasma to help others in 2023. So that generous donation really drives our organisation and what we're able to do in the lives that we're able to save. 116,000 new donors stepped up during that year to make a difference to Australian patients, gave blood for the first time. That's really inspirational to me that people are making that choice. In Australia, people aren't paid to donate blood. It's a donation that they make themselves. And so we're very grateful for that. I mentioned earlier about breastfeeding mums, 370 breastfeeding mums, again, a huge donation and quite significant. And we're quite fortunate to have a really positive Net Promoter Score of 88. So it shows our donors' high level of satisfaction with our service and our willingness to recommend us to others. We don't take that for granted, of course. We work really hard at that, and we work really hard at maintaining and increasing that at all times. And something that's sort of a little less known about Lifeblood is that we published during that year 210 peer-reviewed publications. So in some ways, I think of us as three different organisations. We're a customer engagement organisation to bring donors in. We're a supply chain management organisation. How do we get that donation to where it needs to be as quickly as possible? And then we're a health research organisation. With that information, that data that we're collecting, what new insights can we then generate? When I think of the personas of who we are helping, I often think of, say, a young girl in the outback, in the bush. She's far away from a centre, like a large population centre, and she has kidney dialysis and needs a blood transfusion periodically. So how do we get safe, efficient supply to her and do that in a way that, when she needs it and how she needs it? That's really that sort of key persona that I have in my mind. Now, I want to take you through two quotes. One's from last year. This is Julie Sweet, Accenture. This is probably the single quote that I've thought most about in the last year as Chief Data Officer. The thing that is going to hold AI back, though, is most companies do not have mature data capabilities. And if you can't use your data, you can't use AI. And so I think that's really, there's a lot of blood rushing to the head around AI. And a lot of that's, the trough of disillusionment that Gartner talks about in their hype cycles will come crashing down when people sort of think, well, AI is the aspiration and the dream, but we need to get our data management right first before we get to this place. So that's, and we're really lucky at Lifeblood that we've got most of our data management capabilities right. The second one's actually from this morning, literally from 2 hours ago during the keynote with Jensen speaking. And every company's data is their gold mine. Every company is sitting on a gold mine. Don't be left behind. And this just sort of illustrates the opportunity that we're all sitting on. Ali spoke about how every company wants to be or should want to be a data and AI company because that's where the competitive advantage will come from. That's what will drive your business efficiency. So that's really inspirational as well. And a slide on Lifeblood's data journey, and we're happy to be here at the Data and AI Summit. We've got a little bit of history here. So last year we won the Data for Good Award, which we're really gratified about. And on Monday, Aman won the Gen AI Hackathon as part of a team with 2 other members. So well done, Aman. Thank you. But the biggest story about this slide is around the journey that we go on of setting foundations in early 2020, going on our modern data and analytics journey, commencing that journey, and then in bold, delivering value to the business. So that's, we establish the foundation, create proof of concepts and environment scanning, and we establish that capability, and then it's straight to business value, and we keep going in cycles like that, and that cycle will never stop. It will become AI, generative AI, and then other sort of opportunities that we've got. We did our first Gen AI proof of concept was delivered last year. And of course, today, in 2023, the smart supply chain capability was built, which then enabled us to deliver Alive, which of course is what we're here to speak about today. And 2024 and onwards, just scaling business value. The cycle continues, the fun continues as well. And I just want to reiterate the fact that we're doing serious work at Lifeblood, but we're also having a lot of fun and we enjoy working with each other as well. So yeah, I hope that sounds appealing. Okie dokie. So let's talk just briefly about our smart supply chain. So this was mentioned in the Lifeblood strategy. So we better connect end-to-end processes and link Lifeblood systems, heightening productivity. We continue to integrate with our suppliers to leverage industry advancements with our customers to optimize inventory holdings and with clinicians to enhance best use of products. And we have sort of KPIs and things like productivity and waste, ensuring that we've got lowest wastage and the highest productivity, and the cost to serve is another sort of indicator that we use to ensure that we're doing this process well. But ultimately having an end-to-end supply chain, data-enabled, AI efficient is what we're seeking to do. So AI-enabled operational technology, and this gives you a bit of a sense of the sort of the analysis and the capability that we're standing up here. So going from bottom left to bottom right, ensuring that our systems are digitized and connected, that we're collecting that data. the value-add tasks for people are provided. We're remote monitoring, and we've got data accessibility, so we're able to ingest and utilize that data. Elimination of error and rework. It's amazing how much that can grind your processes down, stop you from delivering that value. Scalable operations, start small but scale up. Keeping pace with technology, my goodness, there's another sort of, a new wave of technology announcements from this morning that I've got to keep pace with and sort of harness. It's exciting, it really is. Reproducible, robust processes across multiple sites, system controls to mitigate risk, zero downtime, a big issue, and better control of product release into inventory. And where all of this leads us to is this manufacturing transformation purpose and the capability that it gives us. So the purpose being to design a connected manufacturing system. And our future vision for the scientific and production laboratories is to have all individual steps in the manufacturing process fully connected and integrated. One of the great things about Alive is that that's that first significant step along that pathway. So we've got 3 of these elements on the left-hand side: process, technology, and people. And you've got items such as real-time manufacturing, inventory, and quality management. In technology, we're able to utilize automation and system control to ensure critical steps during product manufacturing are captured and recorded. And then with people, we have reduce unnecessary manual handling of blood products and movement of product. So there's a sort of win-win across the board with the investment that we're making here. Which brings us to our automated labeling and verification system. So our one-of-a-kind robot that we've had built with Robert Bosch in Australia, specifically for Lifeblood. And in a second, I'll take you through a video. We have a video that explains it much better than I can, but it's the first large-scale automation we've introduced in our processing labs. Unlike our testing laboratories that have had the automated testing instruments for some time, we are transforming our production areas with the introduction of a number of automated systems over the coming years. So this is the first. We're already working on our second. So a really exciting piece. Yep. All right. That's okay. Well, what we might do, we've got. Yep. Well, we might sort of continue to play this through, and you can all, so the subtitles are playing on the bottom. I know that people will be listening to this. They should be able to see the subtitles at the bottom if you're watching this as a recording. And hello to my team, in days' time when you are. It's great to see you. It's also an opportunity for me to thank everyone at Lifeblood for their contributions to this as well. It really does take a team effort, not just within the data team, but across the entire organization to deliver this. And then you can see it, away it goes.
So just to walk you through, this is the first machine that's been brought into connected manufacturing space, and it's processing blood packs, platelets, and will be processing plasma. It's a very complicated machine because it deals with life sciences project, and the amount of data that we receive is tremendous from this machine. Like the telemetry logs and all of that we get is tremendous. I'll walk you through the entire process and how we have developed the data platform on top of it.
Yeah. And it's so some of the benefits of that are that as an automated labeling machine, where again we're sort of every time you minimize wastage from like an overlapping label, let's say from human error, again you've got more blood to be able to serve to people, which sort of indirectly again fulfills that desire to save lives. So that's really important. All right. If we get the opportunity to watch it back, then we'll do that again.
But I'll take it from there.
Yeah. Over to you.
Thanks, Noel. Thank you, everyone. So just a quick question to the audience. How many of you have worked in a greenfield project, a greenfield data project? Yep. Isn't it like a privilege? Like you work on a greenfield project, nothing is there, you choose your tech stack, you choose your data strategy, you choose how the data is going to flow through, and then you design the product, right? At Lifeblood, you work on life sciences project. You combine that with the greenfield project, and it's a pride. It's a responsibility that we carry with pride. So it's really important for us. And I'm really thankful for the team at Lifeblood who gave me the opportunity to design the data platform for this project. So some of you would have kind of gauged from Noel's introduction to Alive that what we are talking about is integration of OT and IT space. And then you must be wondering what's data engineer doing in that space. So to people who don't know what's OT space, so OT is basically a combination of a hardware and a software that interacts with the physical environment, and it keeps track of the moving pieces in there. It detects any failures and all of that. So what it involves is human-machine interfaces. You have PLC, you have imaging, you have cameras and sensors, you have SCADA, software that constantly is acquiring data. You have machineries and embedded computing. So that's like a complete manufacturing. Any manufacturing space combines of all of that. Whereas IT, we all know, is combines of your software applications, your data platform, your ETL pipeline, your AI/ML modeling, and all of that. So till now, most of the companies have this OT and IT space, and it's like a black box to each other. So OT doesn't know how IT is operating, and IT doesn't know how OT is operating, right? But in Lifeblood, we are moving towards a cloud strategy wherein it's a journey where, as data engineers, we're helping OT onboard into cloud and then help them with real-time data transformations. So let's see where data engineer, what's the role of a data engineer? So we sit right in middle of these three teams. So we have manufacturer, as you saw from the video, we have Robert Bosch. We have our business, so that's the entire manufacturing team. And then we have our BI plus AI team that sits all around us. So everyone, all of them are just going to ask us the question, give us the data, right? Give us the right data. And our role is first is negotiating data model with manufacturer. So manufacturer most of the times don't know what business wants, and they just want to deliver the machine. They just want to deliver a solution. But then, and they'll be like, this is the data, this is what we have designed, this is what we have been designing for all these years, this is what you get, right? So, but we need to negotiate a model with them. How the data structure, how the data is going to come through, what's the data structure going to be like, what's the quality of data, you're going to have like a very sparse data, or you're going to have like a really full quality, high quality data. And that's the starting point. You start with the manufacturer. The second is mapping data points for analytics. So manufacturer is going to send the data, business wants reports. We sit in the middle and marry both the things. So we want to make sure that all the requirements that the business wants in the reports are being flown from the machine, from the data platform for to the analytics side. So we want to ensure it's high quality, it's getting all the fields, it's like it's giving at the right amount of time. So for example, if the analytics is to be done like on an hourly basis or a near real-time basis, are we getting that data from the machine? The third is designing and implementing the platform. We have been listening since morning. If you don't have the right data, you can't do AI, ML, Gen AI, and that's where everywhere we are moving. So we are responsible for designing and implementing the platform, whether it's a batch stream or it's a continuous streaming process. So we design, we sit with all of them and gauge all of that. And then obviously AI-enabled infrastructure and data patterns. So how do we make sure that the data is ready for other teams to be picked up and used? Now, having, because we all knew this and we have been working towards this, so we started working on 4 platform foundations, which is scalability. So we wanted scalability in terms of OT space, so it should be vertical and horizontally scalable. By that I mean that we just have, we might end up having like 8 to 10 different Alive machines. So can our data platform scale with introduction of more machines? Not only that, but we'll end up having different types of machines. So Alive is one. We have another machine coming up, which is called Fish. Name sounds funny, but it's one of the most interesting piece of technology at Lifeblood. So can a data platform scale with that? The second is reusability. We don't want to spend the time reinventing the wheel every time there is a new project. So can we reuse our platform? Can we make it like a metadata driven? Can we make it config driven? Reliability. Reliability is a very important piece in Lifeblood because our products directly impact a human life. So we need to make sure our platform is reliable enough that it's highly available. If anything goes down, then we get a solution like in less than 24 hours so that we can bring our systems back up and platform is up and running. And obviously cost is centric to all these kind of solutions. So how can we make sure that the platform that we implement is efficient enough so that it keeps it keeps the cost under control and doesn't explode like you just get up in Monday morning and your costs have just gone up. So how do we do that? So keeping all these four foundations, platform foundations in mind, we then went out and picked up technology for our platform. So first and foremost, Azure IoT Hub. We use Azure IoT Hub because it can scale from 400,000 messages up to 3 billion, and the config change is like 2 to 3 minutes. So you can easily switch between how many messages you want to process. So scalability is solved, and because it's an Azure product, so it's highly reliable. So and then we have Azure Databricks. So in Databricks, we use DLT pipelines, so automated, self-managed infrastructure. It encapsulates a lot of high complex code in its own libraries, and it's fit for purpose. The other thing is it gives us data, so the data that comes out is already future ready for AI, ML, and all those kind of use cases. At the moment, we are using it for reporting, but it's ready for that purpose. The third is Power BI. We use Power BI. We have been using it, so why not reuse the skill set? And then we plugged it with SQL Warehouse. So we have serverless compute. So it's not like it's running all the time. It's only when business wants to see the report, it kicks in, like it takes 5 seconds for the serverless SQL to come up, and the reports are live. And DevOps. Everything is in Terraform. We have a very minimal manual code in this platform, which is for just IoT Hub devices, because that's something is missing in Terraform. But our entire platform has been deployed through Terraform and within Terraform, and is deployed through Azure CI/CD in all our 4 environments. The benefit of Terraform is you just change the configuration for new projects, and then you're ready to deploy. And so your code reusability comes into the place. So as I was speaking about Delta Live so someone who doesn't know about what Delta Live is, so this is what it looks like, the entire infrastructure. So it follows medallion architecture. The benefit of this is that you can switch from continuous to batch streaming with just a toggle. So you don't need to rewrite your pipeline or orchestration engine. It's just a toggle. So that helps us because sometimes when the machine is not going to work at night, so we just switch to batch streaming. When the machine is running like during the daytime for processing high volume of data, you can switch to continuous streaming. You bring the data into bronze, you transform it with the pipelines, bring it into silver, and then probably you can leave it there for your BI team to pick up or AI team to pick it up and then start processing for their own use cases. The best part is it has got data pipeline observability. So you can exactly see how your data is flowing from one step to another step, how many rows are being passed through, how many rows have errors, and they are being filtered out. That's really helpful as a data engineer. So if anything goes down, I exactly know what my data quality was when the data came through this morning. And this is how our data platform looks like. So on the left-hand side, that's the live machine, which sends both media files. So it sends images of every pack that it processes in base64 string format, and then it sends telemetry logs. We receive over close to 1.5 million messages per day. And the machine, once it starts processing it on a full scale, we are estimating around 4 to 5 million messages per day will be arriving in the data lake. So once the data lands every minute into our data lake, which is in the bronze layer, we have DLT pipelines that processes the data and puts it in a structured format. So it combines a lot of different logs from different locations on the machine. And then after combining it, it keeps it report ready. So it's analytics ready, wherein our BI team comes in and they just have to add their own dimensions and slicer information that they need for Power BI on top of it. So it's very minimal code development for their side, and we don't have to deal with it. So it's like completely decoupled. We have given them the data, and then they just pick it up from there and move on. We have alerts. We have alerts for everything. So if IoT Hub goes down, we receive SMS alert, we receive Teams alert, Outlook alerts, and Azure App notification. Not only us, but the entire team receives that so that we can take action. Things have gone down, quickly jump into the action and fix it. That's for IoT Hub. We have for Databricks and for storage. Anytime availability of storage account goes down, we straight away look into it. We are heavily invested in cost management. So we have third-party partners that tracks our cost, and also we use system tables with the Unity catalog to track our costs and see how we are progressing in terms of our spend day by day. One of the key things I learned in this summit is how can I add Gen AI stuff onto those system tables so that Noel can ask, how much have we spent yesterday on the platform? So that's all in place. But one key thing I want to highlight here is this entire platform is validated platform. By validated, what I mean is the data that is in this platform has been through a rigorous number of testing. And the reason for that is this data is being used to be shared with regulatory boards, for instance, like a NBA in our case, or could be used for TGA in future. So it had to go through a rigorous number of testing. The entire platform has been tested. We had spent a number of hours supporting our test teams to make that happen. The other thing is you have a non-validated data, which we call like a muddy water, which you use for internal purposes. It's not impacting somebody's life in the end. Validated data is where it's going to touch, that data is going to impact somebody's life. So that's validated and non-validated data. In most of the scenarios, sometimes business teams comes and ask us, like, can you bring the data together? And as data platform, we have made a conscious choice that we will always bring a validated data into non-validated data lake. We'll keep them separate, but if a reporting requirement requires marry both the data and present a report, for instance, you want to bring validated data and combine it with a user performance or an employee performance, right? You can combine the data, but don't do it from the validated. Bring it here and do it here. Because if you bring this data back into validated, it kind of corrupts it and it's not fit for purpose. It loses its value. Having said that, after developing the platform, we thought, what can we do with AI? So we have two set of data, as I mentioned, validated and non-validated. We used within non-validated data all our knowledge-based documents, and we did a POC, like how can we ingest that data so that our businesses can answer questions, give answers to their question without going through multiple hops of team. Because when you send an email to somebody to ask a question, they send it to somebody else, then somebody else, and then somebody else. So it's from Monday to Friday when you get a response. So we were like, how can we use RAG models to make that happen? So we fed our validated, for validated data, we use Copilot. We didn't train any model. We just relied on Copilot. Whereas for our non-validated environment, we used Azure OpenAI. And what that has enabled for us is three things. Predictive operations, wherein the manufacturing team can see how the machine is performing, how a certain component is performing, are there issues with certain type of blood bags, or are there issues with certain types of platelet bags or not? And also, which operator is performing well. So for example, does somebody need training? They're spending a lot of time in operating the machine. The second thing is enhance customer experience. So they save a lot of time. Earlier, what used to happen is they would come to BI team and ask for suggestions, and then BI team would write a big ass SQL query just to get a response, and then it would take 2 to 3 days to respond to that question. And then we have a conversational interface. So it's pretty much, you just ask a question on the interface and get a response. And I'll just show you a demo, which is Copilot. So you can ask questions like how many products are passing or failing. And trust me, I didn't do anything. It's just Copilot processing all the data that's being rendered in a Power BI report. You can ask, what have been my busiest hours? Like, this is a question you want to know as a business operator. So you can see like 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and morning 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the busiest hours. And then you want to know what type of components I'm processing the most. So what are the top 5 components? And this has really helped us. This is really helping business. It's saving time, it's saving costs, and it's a massive boost for us. So talking about our achievements. So we have been able to ingest real-time media and telemetry data, and this is the first time we are doing it. We have never done this. It's from a manufacturing device. So we have unlocked one of the biggest challenge. Scalable reporting. So as I mentioned, it's decoupled. So new report can be developed from scratch and be put into production in less than 3 days. 3 days because it requires more testing and validation. There is overhead in terms of adding documentation to it. Cost saving, the platform can auto scale. We have DLT, we have SQL warehouse, so that auto scales and then saves our cost. If it's idle, it just shuts down. Nobody's looking into it. It's saving cost in real time. The platform is being used for upcoming project. We have a machine that's coming up, which is 5 times more complicated than Alive. It's called Fish. What we have been able to do is we have been able to save over 60% time in deploying a new data platform for that machine. In OT space, we have to keep all these different projects separate. The infrastructure has to be separate. They can't interact with each other. That's one of the decisions that we have took, because if an infrastructure for a machine goes down, it should not impact any other infrastructure. But because we use Terraform and we use CI/CD, we have been able to reduce our deployment time to over 60%. And that's something has been confirmed by my Scrum Master, which I'm asked him just before taking my flight. So he said, yes, that's the right number. All right, that brings us to the end. And I really thank all our team at Lifeblood who made this possible. It was really amazing to work on this project, and really grateful for the team.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you all.